Hello guys, welcome back to the Bookla channel. In today's episode, we're building a powerful booking website for a law firm. Now imagine this for a second. Lawyers with their hourly rates, constantly reading emails, picking up the phone all day, just because their website only has a contact me form. It's slow and honestly, not a great experience for anyone. Even though a lawyer's booking system might sound simple, there is actually a lot going on to make it work well. It needs to handle different schedules, charge different rates, depending on the service or the day of the week. Let lawyers know what is the consultation about and securely take payments to avoid unnecessary inquiries. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to set up a complete dynamic booking system that does all of this and much more. So if you're ready to build the most professional website for a law firm, let's begin. Today, we're going to be working in this web. This is a free template we got from Framer, but it's very nice looking. The designer did an amazing job. The only thing is the functionality for an actual lawyer is not all the way there. For example, when you try to book a consult, you will be redirected to this form. That is not ideal. And then when you try to book any of the services, you find this button that is following you on the left, and then when you go there, you are redirected to another form. What is happening here? So we understand that lawyers charges the most amount of money per hour currently in the world. Truth is that they're not gonna sit there reading every single form that arrives because most of them are gonna be non-qualified leads. So if you're a lawyer, let me tell you that this is not scalable for you. You either need an assistant, and then whenever you have more customers, another assistant, and then you're gonna waste a lot of energy and effort calling people that has just vague questions or not even reply when you call them back or send them an email. If you're building the web for lawyers, let me give you a very unique selling point. They don't understand what a web can do. So if you tell them that the form is how they have to work, they're not gonna love your product. They're just gonna feel like this is the only solution I have, and then I need to adapt to this. When in reality, we need to adapt to their needs, not all the way around. So what we need to do is to enable this web to actually take bookings, but not any type of booking like I'm available tomorrow, what type of service you like, you want it on the phone, via Zoom, in person, whose lawyer is who, manage the whole agenda. So all of this is what we're doing today. We're gonna turn a beautiful piece of information into an actual booking making machine for the VC professionals that will be using this. To do that, we need to go to Bookla and create a company. If you don't have one, you can just go to bookla.com and create an account here. It will ask you to register and create your company. And then you will land in this place where you need to start adding your services and also your resources. Since we're working for these customers today, we need to add the services that they are providing. So let's find out which ones are those. We come here and then let's go into the service page and find out by editing the CMS. So we know that they're offering contracts and negotiation. This will be our first service in Bookla. So let's go ahead and add that name there. Once we have given the name to the service, we need to decide what type of service will it be. Will it be fixed? Meaning it's established predetermined duration, so 1 hour of consultation, next guy. Flexible, it allows the customer to book the desired amount of hours or minutes. So I want to know about the legality of privacy policy or the legality of these agreements that I'm about to sign, and I need 3 hours to go over them. So I want to book 3 hours of consultation. This will be flexible type. And then we have group tickets and days, which are for other types of booking, which we will not be covering today. So today we're working with fixed and flexible. This type of services is fixed because they understand that within an hour, they can take care of whatever legal matter it is, or at least give you a second appointment or review the documents. Then we need to choose the duration of the service. Will it be an hour, 2 hours, or maybe an hour and 10 minutes? You can play around with the duration that you desire. The next decision we need to make is the type of booking. Will it be instant? Meaning that as soon as they click on book, that's it. They have a booking. If it requires confirmation, then somebody needs to physically accept this booking before it's confirmed. And the last is needs prepayment, which in this case is the one we're going to be using the most. As soon as you pay, your booking is confirmed. That way we avoid a lot of non-qualified leads. So for now, let's choose instant booking, and then we'll change this whenever we enable the payments. We also have customized booking intervals, and what this means is that the availability will show, if we select 1 hour, it will show at 10, at 11, at 12, but if we enable 30 minutes or 15 minutes, it will say 10, 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, so on and so forth. So you can choose the desired interval that you like. For now, let's leave it an hour. And then we create the service. Now we have a service, and we see that it says link with resource. We don't have any resource yet, but we're about to create them. The resource is the entity that will provide the service. So in this case, the attorneys or the lawyers. But if it was a car rental company, it would be the car itself, or maybe the space in the case of a stadium or a paddle court. Let's finish with the creation of the service. First, we need to add the currency that we're working with. In this case, we're going to have dollars, but as you can see, we have all of them. And then we need to set a tax rate. Let's say that in your state or country or region is 10% and it's inclusive. What it means is that if it was non-inclusive, it will be $100 plus $10 of tax. But if it's inclusive, it will be 91.2 plus 10% of that. It will equal 100 euros. So it means that you're absorbing the cost of the tax. Your price shows the tax inclusive already. Let's save this and then add the price for contracts and negotiation. The price for this hour of consultation will be $150. And it will not be limited by any day or any hour or any resource. But you can do that. You can limit by type of attorney, by date of the week, or by hour of the day. So let's say that you offer very late night consultations, and those have an extra fee. Or during Christmas days, it's going to be more expensive. You can play around with this. We'll do in another example. Create. Then metadata, I'm going to show you in a few minutes how to use it to acquire more data in the time of your booking. Because for lawyers, data is very important. What type of consultation are you coming for? Do you have a criminal record? I don't know. Do you have all the documentation? Where is your case? When is your court date? So a lot of things that they need to collect. And I'm going to teach you how to customize this collection of information. And then settings is what we just went over. The type of booking, the availability, so since when this service is available, we don't need to add anything there, the duration, the time interval, and then buffers. Before and after, it means to the extra time the lawyer requires to prepare before or after. Let's say that he needs 30 minutes before you arrive to consultation to be prepared. So when somebody books at 10, his schedule needs to be booked since 9:30. Or let's say that he needs another hour after every customer to take notes, save the data, call somebody. So whenever somebody books from 10 to 11, his schedule will be booked from 10 to 12. It will not be available because he needs that extra hours. Like a car, when you return it, it's not available immediately. It requires some time to be washed, cleaned, refueled, etc. The same with these buffers. Let's not set any for this example, but you could if you need. Now we have our first service, so we need to have our first resource. So we're going to click here on resources and then create new resource. Let's call our first attorney Alex Turner. Alex Turner needs to have working hours. This is the main thing that we need to add to the resource. So he's going to work every single day of the week, but weekends, from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And then he's going to have a very long break. And then he's going to work from 5 till 7. So we have this breakage of availability, and it will be displayed whenever somebody is trying to book such services. Let's create. And now we could add a closing period in case that he's going on vacation or he's suddenly sick or he needs some time off. And then for metadata, I will show you in a little bit what it means. Don't be too concerned with that because it's just a way for us to acquire or deliver more information embedded in the metadata of this booking. Now, since we have a service and we have a resource, let's link them together. So we're gonna click here on link with the resource, and we're gonna link the service contracts and negotiations with Alex Turner. Now, to test all of these things, we're going to be using our Bookla Styler app. You get there on component.bookla.com. Here, you will find our booking component. But in order to test the real component, the one that we're building on the Bookla platform, we need to set up our company here, and we need to provide the following data. The region, so I'm working in Europe, and then we need to set the API key, the company ID, and the service ID. I will show you how to get those right now. To get the API key, we need to go back to our Bookla platform, come to the developer settings, and then click on Create API Key. We're gonna call it Legal Matters Key. And then here it is very important that you don't enable any of the merchant permissions. You just need to enable the client permissions so they can view the services, they can view the resources, they can create guest customers. So if they don't need to register to book, they can create a guest customers, and then they can authenticate some plugins if necessary. We're gonna create this API key, and then very important that we copy this and save it because it will be only display one. I already have a place here to save it. And then we're gonna go and get the company ID, which is the other document we need. So you click on your company, and over here you will see these squares. You just need to copy that and have it somewhere. And then we need the ID of our service, which we just created. And you will find here on top on these little squares, you can copy and paste it here. Now we can turn on or bring to life our styler. Let's begin with the API key. Very important that you don't have any spaces or anything at the end or at the beginning. Now we need our company ID and we need a service ID. Now the component comes back to life. He's not working Saturdays or Sunday as we wanted, and he's working on Monday from 10 until 1 because his last consultation can be taken at 1. It lasts 1 hour and he's leaving at 2 for lunch, for gym, for whatever. Then he comes back at 5 and he works until 7. So he's available for consultations from 5 to 6 and from 6 to 7. So he could not take any booking at 7 because he's no longer working. Now, we have something that says select resource and then it says any resource. We're building a legal booking machine. So we need to change this. We can go to config and then under resource, we can change it to say select attorney. And then it will say select attorney. And then instead of saying any resource, we can say any attorney. As you can see, we already have a select your attorney button, which if we have more than one, it will show the different availabilities of each one of them. If you want to hide this, you could also hide it. You could do many things here. As you can see, there is a lot of customization, and we're gonna cover the ones we need for this legal case, right? So we understand that we have something working already. What we need to do is just add all of the services and all of the resources we need. Let's go back to Bookla and do that. To add another service is very simple. Just click here on this plus sign and again, we'll repeat the process. So we need to understand what is the next service that we need to do for our clients. Corporate and governance. We're just gonna paste the name there and then choose the type of service. It will be fixed this time. The duration will be 1 hour and then it's also instant. Let's get into pricing. We already said that it's dollars. 10% inclusive, and this service will be 170. It's a little more pricey, right? Let's continue adding the next one. Privacy and compliance should be a little cheaper, I believe. fix, the 1 hour, and now the pricing. This one will be $100. There we go. And one more service. Disputes and recovery. Ooh, that sounds scary. So we're gonna add disputes and recovery. Maybe disputes and recovery will require 2 hours because disputing, it takes a long time. Now we need to add the pricing. 10% tax. Don't forget about your Uncle Sam or whatever uncle charges your taxes in your country. This one is 200 for sure. Now we need to link resources to these services, and we understand that Alex Turner will not be able to do it all. So we're gonna add another person. We can call it Mia Patel. And then we need to add some other nice attorney. That will be Karen Smith. Let's say that she's the intern and she will take phone calls and video services that we're gonna offer. We're building this, just beginning to. Okay, we have 3 resources. Let's say that Karen Smith is the intern, and then we have 2 main lawyers, Mia Patel and Alex Turner. Let's link these main services to them. So we already understand that Alex Turner is taking care of contracts and negotiation, and I guess he will take care also of corporate because it's similar. So let's link this with Alex. And then Mia Patel, she will take care of the next 2 services, disputes and privacy complaints. Now, we need to add the working schedule of Karen and Mia. They work every day from 10 to 14, similar to Alex. And she works from 16 till 18. From 4 to 6, she goes home early. And then we have Mia, that she is a working machine. She works from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. straight. She doesn't eat, she doesn't do anything. We can go now to the styler and see how everything is coming along. So I'm gonna enable this selector of services so we can see. We have the first one, contract and negotiations. The price is correct. We have corporate and governance. The price is also correct, which is handled by Alex Turner, and he doesn't work on the weekends. Good. We have disputes and recovery, and since this is a very long process and you book every 2 hours and it's provided by Mia, you can only book from 10 to 2. There's only 3 slots. Very nice. And she works every day because we didn't set any working days for her. We said she was a working machine. Right? Now, privacy and compliance. Same. Is Mia working? No days off, but this time is 1 hour intervals. Great. What I want to do is go to the web and add an additional flexible type of booking service. So we took care of all these 4 services. Now, when we go to this web and we see this book a consult button, what I think is that you could book a consult via phone, or you could come to the office and have an in-person general consultation because it might be in another topic that we're not covering in those 4 services. So I'm gonna quickly change this page to suit me. Let's go into this book a consult page and actually make it work for us. The first thing we need to do is duplicate this block. Now we have 2 of them because what I want to do is I want to have one for in-person consultations and then one for phone consultations. So we need to actually have 2 places to drop our components. Let's create some spacing here and then change the alignment to this title to the other side. Okay, it's coming along nice. Now I want to change the orientation of this picture from here to here. And here we're gonna add our booking component. So let's go ahead and name those. Book an office consult. And here is a phone consult. Maybe phone or Zoom consultation. Let's call it consultation because I don't like just consult. There it is. Even though it doesn't look perfect, it will look perfect in a few seconds. So now we have these two services that we need to create back in Bookla. Let's go ahead and create these two services. On consultations. This type is flexible because people can choose the amount of time they want to be on the phone. 15 minutes, 30 minutes. On the phone, let's make the booking intervals very small because we're gonna charge, I don't know, $50 per 15 minutes of call or something like this. So we have the booking intervals very small, and then we need to link with our resource, which we said it was gonna be Karen Smith because she's the one that's gonna be on the phone and taking these in-person consultations. Okay, now we need to add the pricing. 10% inclusive. And we have the duration of the service is 15 minutes. The minimum duration that needs to be higher is 15 minutes, and the maximum duration is 2 hours. Now, the price of these 15 minutes will be $40. Create. We could also add another pricing rule that, for example, on the Mondays, the price will be different. It will be actually half price on Mondays. So let's set our duration to 15, our minimum duration to 15, and our maximum duration to 2 hours. Now we need to set a higher priority because this rule will override the other. Every day that is Monday, the price will be $20. And then we're gonna create this different pricing. Now we have phone consultation. We need in-office consultation. This one will also be flexible. How much time will you like to be in the office? But the office will not be minute increments, it will be hourly rate. So you can either be 1 hour or 2 hours. So the booking intervals will be 1 hour. And we need to link with a resource, which will be Karen Smith also. The pricing for this service will be, of course, more expensive. Let's go ahead and say that the booking intervals, as you see, is 1 hour. We need to choose this time. The minimum duration is 1 hour and the maximum duration is 3 hours. Now the price per hour of this service will be $90, right? But on the Mondays, we want people that come into the office to pay a little more because we're taking advantage of the phone. Let's imagine that for a second. So let's create another pricing rule so you can see that we can make very dynamic pricing. So the minimum is 1 hour, the maximum was 3, and the price will be double on Monday actually, 180, and then we're gonna limit by hours, limit by days, I'm sorry. Priority number 2, because this is a higher priority as I explained, create. Now we have all the services working. Let's test it on the styler. Now we have additional 2 services here, phone consultation and in-office consultation. So when we go to phone consultation, we see that the increment is every 15 minutes. And then we can book the amount of time and you can see the total there. So you can, let's say, book 45 minutes of conversation for 60 euros at 10, at 10:15, at 10:30, all the different intervals. And then we have the schedule of the person taking this service. If we go to the in-office consultation, the story repeats, but this time is hourly intervals. So we can choose 2 hours, 3 hours. We cannot choose more than 4 hours. 3 hours. We cannot choose more than 3 hours. So we're limited to the parameters we set. And the price on the Thursdays is 90, but on the Mondays is 180. In the case of phone consultations, we see that the price is 20 every day, 40 every day, but on the Mondays it's half off. You can set dynamic pricing by day and even by hours of the day, so you can get as crazy as you like. Now that we have the services and the resources working accordingly, let's take care of the different plugins, because the plugins will help us with payments, with cancellation policy, with notifications, many things. So let's go ahead and start adding our plugins. We're gonna click here under plugins and then add plugins. And then you will find a variety of different ones, but today we're gonna be using the following. Booking rules is important because this allows to handle cancellation and rescheduling policy, and since we're talking about lawyers, every legal aspect has to match. Let's take care of this plugin and just add it there. The second one we're going to be using, and very important, is email notifications, because here is where the customers are gonna receive their information and also the attorneys too. So as you can see, adding the plugins is very simple. Just click there and it's done. And finally, we're gonna enable this Stripe payment gateway. You can enable any of the others, but I like to use Stripe. For now, we have all we need with these 3 different plugins. The first one we're gonna enable is actually Stripe. Very easy to enable. We're gonna click on it and we're gonna start connecting. Now we're gonna need 4 things to enable this plugin. We're gonna need the secret key from Stripe and then 3 different URLs that we already have here on our note. So let's go ahead and put those there. This is basically the failure redirect, cancel redirect, and success page for after the payment. So where will Stripe lead you after you fulfill the payment? And then we have the success here. It's working, but I didn't mean to test it. Good to know that it's working nice. And then we have the success there. How to get the Stripe key? Very simple. We go to stripe.com and we're gonna sign in or log in for the first time. If you don't have an account, it will ask you a few details here. It's not rocket science. But if you do, you need to come down here all the way to developers, to API keys, and just copy the secret key that you find at the bottom. Click there and put it back into our plugin. Then you have tax ID collection, automatic tax calculation, and then some other advanced features. This is not necessary for the initial setup. We will cover this in another tutorial. Let's hit connect and voila, you have payments already. With payments already installed, we can take care of the booking rules. So the booking rules is just that, the booking rules. We need to set cancellation rule and rescheduling rule. So since we're talking about attorneys, we need to make sure that if you cancel your appointment, how much money do you get back? Can I reschedule or can I not? So all of these things are important. Let's add them right here. So we add a new cancellation rule. Let's call it cancellation policy. If we had more than one, we could set different priority, but it's not necessary. And then we could limit each cancellation policy by each services. But if you don't choose any of them, it will apply to all of them. And then, this is where you have to be careful with. If you cancel with 24 hours or more prior to the event, you will get 100% back. This is the pre-default rule. But you can change this. We can say that you will get 95% back if you cancel with 24 hours or more. And then you could add another rule that says that if you cancel 12 hours or more, you will get 50%. Before, we had it so if it's less than 24 hours, you get 0. Now we have it that if it's in between 24 and 12, you will get 50%. But if it's less than 12 hours, then you will get 0. This is a more flexible rule. And we just create. Then we need to add rescheduling rules. We click here, create rescheduling rule, and then this is just how much time before the event happens or the consultation is due, you can reschedule this without penalty. So let's call it rescheduling policy. And then let's say that you can reschedule for free 48 hours only. So if it's less than 48 hours, you will not be able to reschedule it. And you can create it. Last but not least, you need to add contact details, because it's very important that when you're handling these type of things, people has somewhere to contact you or call you or complain or whatever they need to do. So let's add a working email, a phone number, and then you can add additional information. This message will be displayed whenever they can manage this booking. So let's say we work from 10 to 14 and from 15 to 19, because this is the actual working schedule of Alex. Create, and we have it. The last plugin we need to take care of is the email notifications. So we're gonna start basic, and then as we integrate our component into the web, create additional forms and handle more data, we're gonna have to improve our email notifications. When you go into the email notifications plugin, you will see merchant, clients, reminders, and settings. So merchants and clients is the place where the email template is saved. Reminders is just that. You can set up different reminders before your appointment is due to reduce no-shows. But since we're getting money from the people before they come, I guess reminders will not be necessary. And then settings is you can set different reply to or sender email. Let's take care of the settings first. Reply to will be this working email, and then the sender's email will also be the same. And then we need to add the name of our business. Great. Now we see that we have all the data here already, and you don't need to do anything else. Let's go ahead and start creating the email for our customers, the first one, so we can test the cancellation policy. Let's create a template for clients. And then we can choose, will it be for clients or for merchants? The event type that will trigger this email today will be booking confirm, but you can see that you have booking cancel, booking edit, and many more. So today we're working with booking confirm. Now we can change the subject line to this email template. So the subject line to every email we send will be the one we're choosing right now. And another thing you need to know is that we can use variables, which this is what makes this email notification very dynamic and very powerful. So the variables is just this bracket words that you see, and they will take the place of the real data whenever the customers receive this email. So for the subject line, we need to do something very formal because we're a legal entity, right? And then we need to use variables beyond the ones that we just have here in this template. I will show you where to get these variables. Very easy to get there. Docs, you guessed it, thatbookla.com. When you get here, there's a lot of information that you can find on how to do everything. Today we're concerned with the email notifications because even myself, I will forget these variables. So we're gonna go to the plugins, we're gonna find email notifications, and then we're gonna click on notification creation. And there they are. All the different variables we can use in the email. I was looking for the one for the last name. I want to make it very formal, so we're gonna use this one. Mr. Last Name. For consultation is confirmed. Very professional, very lawyer-like. And then we need to change the body of this email because we need to make it feel professional. So let's get rid of dear and then just keep the formality. Mr. Last Name, and we change this for find below the details for your next appointment. And then we can reuse some of these variables. So we understand that the name of the service will be displayed instead of this word. And we know that the services are called legal things. Your appointment is about, and then the name of the service. The attorney that will handle your case is, and then the name of the resource. we expect to see you on start date, from start time to start date. Now we need to include something else. We need to include the ability for the customer to manage this booking. And this is another variable that is here. That is here. It's called the manage URL. This allows everybody to manage their booking. Be aware that you need to enable payments to be able to process refunds, otherwise there is nothing else to refund. And you need to set cancellation and rescheduling rules so they can apply to this manage URL. If you need to make changes to the appointment, please do so clicking here. And then there is this manage URL. There's a lot more things that you can include, and then we'll take care of those as we're making email notifications for a phone consultation. Maybe we add a phone number request, or if it's in-office consultation, we can add an address link. You'll see how everything comes out very nice. And we just create. Oh, by the way, you could attach a QR code if you wanted to. I don't think it's necessary in this case, but in case there is a porter or a doorman or elevator person that needs to make sure that you are coming to this booking, there is a way that you can verify with QR code. Let's create this template. Now we have a template and we can test everything all the way through the email that we get. Before we do that, we need to turn any of the services that we have into a paying service. So let's say that it's going to be a in-office consultation. We just go to settings, and then from instant, we'll say needs prepayment, save. That's easy, from free to prepaid. Now we can go to the Bookla Styler app and actually choose this service, in-office consultation. We're gonna book 2 hours on the Monday. Oh, double the price. That's fine. Let's continue. I'm picking the Monday because if I chose today, remember that the rescheduling and cancellation policy will not allow me to do anything. It needs to be longer in the future. I'm gonna add my data here. Before we pay, let's go ahead and open this email. Call it client's email, and then delete all the emails we have so we can keep track of all the ones that are arriving. Now we can go into payment mode. By the way, every time you're using Stripe, you can use this card. It's the 42 number, a date in the future, and any 3 numbers, and it will work. Only on the sandbox. Don't get happy. Don't go try to buy on Amazon or any other place with this card. Success. Good. Now, I already see here that we have our first email. Legal matters. Nice. Mr. Perez, your consultation is confirmed. Nice. I never told them my name, so you see variables are working already. Mr. Perez, find below the details for your next appointment. Your appointment is about in-office consultation. The attorney that will be handling your case is Karen Smith. Great. We expect to see you on Monday, April 20th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Good. If you need to make changes to the appointment, please do so clicking here. I'm clicking there. And here we have it. Amazing. We have the need help and the data that we fill out previously, our working hours, the call to, so everything is working nice. We also have the ability to reschedule. We can only reschedule for this hour or any date into the future. It allows us to reschedule, and then we can also cancel the booking. And we see that if we cancel the booking, we will get 95% refund. It's working perfectly. So if we were to cancel this booking, we only got $342 back. Not bad, not bad. Great. With everything now working, I guess we can go ahead and integrate all of this into the web. So we're here already on Framer. And the first thing that we're gonna add is the components for each one of the services. So we're gonna go to pages, find this service page, and over here we're gonna drop our component. Let me show you how easy this is to do. The first thing you need is to enable the Bookla plugin in your framer. To do that, we're gonna go to plugins, browse all, and then you're just gonna type Bookla. If you don't have it there, it's fine. You go to browse all, and then you will open the marketplace of plugins and type Bookla there. Click enter, and the first one that you will see, you click on that one, and now you just need to choose the project in which you will like to add it. There it is. This is our project, and this is where I would like to add it. So nice. Let's choose the intended location of this plugin, which is the service page itself. And these ones will be fixed. So we click on the component and it will appear there. But I will show you an even nicer trick. If you click on this component and you select layers, you can replace this with the Bookla component you just used. And it's there, it's perfectly positioned. Because you know that sometimes trying to put it inside the frame, you will screw up the rest of the page. Like that, you can do it very simple. Once we have the component here, the only thing we need to do is style it a little. So what I'm gonna do is take care of this content square, make it relative, make it smaller than 50%. So actually 45% is good. And then the container of my component, I'm also gonna make relative and make it 45%. Maybe 40% will be nice, or 38. Great. Now, on the Bookla component, we just set it to fill. Perfect. Further styling we can do. I already see that the border radius of this web is very small and our button is very big. So we can start customizing the component before we actually merge it with Bookla. Let's take care item by item. So the size of the component, I always like to use it small so it allows for more drop-down capability. Then for the background color, I'm gonna leave it like this is because I think it blends in very nice with the white background on the page. I'm not gonna touch the background. For the primary colors, yes, I'm gonna be using, actually instead of choosing my colors by hand, I'm gonna be using the colors that are preset in this web. So I'm gonna go to the primary of the web and just select their primary. And then for the secondary, I'm also gonna use their neutral one. So little by little is becoming like the web. So what type of font do they use? You can see this by inspecting the title. Is Satoshi. Great. So we're gonna use Satoshi in our component. Font family, Satoshi. There it is. Now we have the same font. We go into the item. Here, the only thing I'm gonna change is this brand color, which is this that you will see here. I'm gonna select their primary color. Besides the brand color, the text I'm gonna leave the same, and the background color, maybe I can use some of the neutral that they use already on the web to make it feel more native. Great. Now let's take care of the blocks. The blocks has a very big radius. I guess the web is using something like 8. So we make them more squarey like the web. Let's see. Yeah, about 8. So we take care of the blocks already. We go into the button. The button has very big radius. So let's make it 8 also. And choose the brand color for the button. Great. For some reason, the logo is always square, right? It's never round. Button is taken care of. Very important. The following setups, we don't need to change unless you actually want to. But it's very important that here on the guest mode is always enabled. Otherwise, you will have to register before booking a service, which we don't want to do that. And then we can change the time grid into a time select. I will show you how it looks in 2 different occasions once we merge Bookla with this component. We can also go ahead and change the text. For example, continue, make a booking. We can say book a consult, like the original template had it. So as we go deeper, we can customize everything we want. But we will actually be able to customize more things once we connect the Bookla with our company. Same as we connected the styler, we need to do here. So the API and the company ID. Now we need a service ID. For this one, we're gonna go back to Bookla and copy our ID from here. Then back to Framer, and we just add it there. With the ID there, we can test how the component is looking. Amazing, follow us around, looks like it belongs to the web, beautiful. We can check the different availabilities. I will also change a little to make it nicer, the items background color. I will not make it so dark. I will make it lighter color. Then we can see much better, cleaner look. Nice. So we integrated already one component. Now, since this is a CMS collection, we need to take care of all of them. So for that, we're gonna come to Pages and click here on Edit CMS next to the services. Now we have all the CMS that we have, the 4 services. We need to add something else. Let's edit the fields. Let's add a new field that it will be plain text. The name of this field will be Bookla Service ID, and that's it. We have it there. In Bookla Service ID, that is now over here, we're gonna add the different IDs. So for this one, we're gonna add the ID that we just got. We have our service ID, and then we go to edit our CMS, and we add it there. And we do the same for all the other services. So next one is corporate and governance. We go back to Bookla, we choose corporate and governance, and copy the ID. Now we can come back to the web and create this as a variable. So we're gonna set a variable, and we're gonna choose Bookla Service ID. So we have it here working, but if we go to another service, like privacy and compliance, we're gonna see that we have it also working here. Let's test somebody with a different schedule. For example, contracts and negotiations. You see that the last available time is 6 p.m. So we have from 11 all the way to 6. But if we go to privacy, we have from 11 all the way to 3 straight without lunch break. So this is 2 different professionals working at different schedules. So every single component is working for this part. We need to take care of the other ones, the phone call and the in-office consultations. So let's do that right now. We'll go to our book, and then we have this that we already pre-styled a little, but not all the way, right? So first of all, we're gonna take care of this picture. This picture we need to make a little bigger. So let's make it relative. %45 is good. And then the same we do with the second one. Great. Let's do the same with the container of these forms. So the text wrapper, we're gonna make relative also, and let's set it to 45% as well. And we do the same one with the next one. Text wrapper, relative 45%. Perfect. Now what we need to do is replace this with our booking component. So let's begin with the first one. This time we need to choose a flexible type component. We're gonna go to plugins and run recent because we just use the fixed component. So we choose the flexible type. Now that we have chosen this, we're gonna do the same as we did before, not to damage any styling or not to break the layout of the web. We're just gonna replace the component with our Bookla flexible component. The only thing that we need to do is fix this text wrapper a little. It was actually the mother container. And we replace this one right here. So the form we replace with our flexible component. Amazing. Now we just need to fix the height, and there we are. Very good. We have two different booking components that we need to link now with the real services. We can get rid of this one right here, and by the way, we can style it as we did with the other one. And here on the item, we also use the brand color. If I copy this and I delete this and paste this on the same spot, now we don't have to style both of them. We just need to connect both of them. That we do need to do. Same as we did before. We choose our API key, our region, and the company ID also. We need the service ID for this. This is phone consultation. And unlike the other ones, here we need to set the duration. We also need to specify this duration right here. So we said that the booking intervals for the phone consultation was 15 minutes. And the minimum people could hire was 15 minutes, 15. And the maximum, it was 2 hours, if I don't remember wrongly. There it is. We have the first one. So, there is the booking increments. And I already see that we need to add something to the background or change our secondary color. Secondary color is not working correctly, but that's why we check, right? This is way more appropriate now. Yes, perfect. They're not working on the weekend. And then they have a lot of different availabilities. Since we have a lot of availability, I would like to change instead of the grid layout to the select layout this time. It's right here under time config. We're gonna choose select, and then we're gonna see how it looks. You see, much more professional. We have the select resource, and then we have the select your time. It's better when we have a lot of different time slots. And then we also don't want people to select their resource while hiring this service, because Karen Smith is the only one that will take care of them. So we're gonna go ahead and hide that too. Here on resources, we're just gonna say no. And now you don't need to choose the resource. You just need to choose how long do you want to talk, when do you want to talk, and confirm your consultation. This is for an office consultation, but we set it up as if it was for the phone. So let's put our component here, put this one here, and this one here. No big deal. Now it's still linked to our previous setup, but now it's in the right place. Back to the other one. Let's do the same. Merge it with our company. Company ID. And important service ID. In-office consultation. And finally, we need to set the duration. For in-office, it was hourly intervals. So you could either buy 1 hour or 2 hours, I remember. The minimum is 1 hour and the maximum was 3 hours. Perfect. We have it working. Let's test. So for one, we have the grid availability, and for one, we have the select availability. So you see the different ones, and you can choose whichever you like best. For the smaller amount of times, I'm gonna choose grid, and then for the other one, I'm gonna choose select. Let's get rid of select resource in this one too. And no. Okay, for the most part, we already have a web that is not just telling you to send a form to the lawyers, it's actually doing something. So if we go to have an overview of the web, it says book a consult, right? But here it is, when I can book it. If it's on the office, I see the availabilities, I pick the amount of time, and then I continue. Or I know that I can book a phone call or Zoom consultation, and then just choose all these. Perfect. So far, so good. But there are more things that we need to do because we're lawyers. We need to inquire what type of services will you like to handle during this consultation. Let's do that with, for example, the in-office consultation. Because on the phone, to be honest, Karen Smith can just ChatGPT everything. But here on the office consultation, you need to be prepared. So we're gonna turn this one into a more advanced information gathering booking component. For that, we need custom forms. And we're gonna find those once we select our component right here on the right called custom forms. We're gonna click there and then we're gonna add our custom forms. Additional data we can replace, but I think it's fine. So we click on the 0 and then add. Here we need to label the first field of information. Let's say we want the phone number. And then the type will be phone. For placeholder, we can maybe do a mockup value of a phone number or just add phone number. Now the following. Select topic. It will be a select. And then we need to add our options separated by a comma. Contract, corporate, privacy, disputes, other. Is it mandatory? Yes. So far, both of them are required. Describe your main concern. It will be text area because it's a bigger field to input data, and it will also be required. So let's see how it looks. There you see. Now we have more data besides the required first name, last name, and email. So we have phone number with the placeholder we chose, add phone number, but we could have just typed any phone number to make reference to this scenario. So I'm gonna add my phone number. Then we need to select the topic. And as you can see, this enter value doesn't fit very well there. So we can quickly amend that. Coming back, selecting our custom forms, and then we can replace the placeholder for select topic. Great. We come back, we check it out, and it's there. Select topic. Or choose an option, however you like. And then this enter value, you can also change very quickly and just maybe give an example of what you like to get as an answer from the customer. My main issue is with speeding tickets. It can work. So, as we see, there is an example there. My main issue is with speeding tickets. So now we as lawyers can gather a lot of data. Perfect. Now I want to take care of the different types of confirmation emails for the people that will receive a phone consultation, an in-person general consultation, or for the people that already knows the service that they're booking with the professional that they know. So let's go back to the Bookla platform and take care of that. we need to go to the plugins and then email notifications. Now we're going to create another template for clients. Remember, we need to choose the type of template for client, then the type of event, booking confirm, and then we're going to add the template to this email. Your virtual consultation is confirmed. And then we're gonna condition this template to only work whenever this service is booked. For that, we need to use conditional logic. And to help us with that, we're gonna visit the Bookla documentation page. Remember that we have it right here, or you can access it through this icon right here. We're gonna go to the plugins and then email notifications, text templating engine. And then we're gonna look for the conditional logic. This one right here works very well because it's the example of what we need. We need to condition this template by the service that is chosen. So we're gonna grab this and we're gonna put it in our template. If service ID, and then we need to replace this haircut one for the ID of the service that we're working with. We can find that one right here, not to make any mistakes. Since we already have the template open, we can just copy the ID from here. If this service, then you will receive a phone call from the attorney on, and then we can add the start date and start time. At, and then the start time. And then we can just add Mr. and the last name of the customer. Thanks for choosing us. So our email will say, Mr. Perez, for example, thanks for choosing us. Will receive a phone call from the attorney on this date. Regards, Legal Matters team. Now we're going to use the same variable, but this time we're going to replace this ID for the ID of the other service, which is this one right here. And in this case, we're going to say the name of the resource or the expert in this case. So we're going to grab this and put it here. You see how easy it is to build these templates? We'll be expecting you, and then we can just copy. And we can also even add the address link to our office. For example, let's find a spot here for our office. It can be this one. Wow, it's a nice office. So let's copy this and add it here. Find the address below in case you need it. And then we need to add another message for the rest of the services. And to do that, we need to check the text templating, how it works. So we need to add else. Your appointment is confirmed. Find the address below. And then we need to end it. Bracket, bracket, end, bracket, bracket. And then we create template. Okay, now we have our template. I guess it's time that we test all of the features of the web. Let's go and publish once and for all with all the different changes. So update. And here we go. The first thing we have is this book consult. Very nice. We can book for tomorrow. And let's go ahead and make this first booking. For tomorrow, I want to be 3 hours because it's very important. And I only can go at 11. Great. Let's continue, and now we need to fill out our data. The phone number. The topic will be other. I want to get in a divorce. I'm kidding. And I will describe the main issue following along this divorce line. I am tired of my wife, but she wants to take my dog. Very common issue, I guess. And then we go and make a booking. No surprise, we need to pay because we have a payment gateway inside our web. So you see how different it is already from just sending an email and wondering if I will keep my dog or my wife will take it. Now I know that I'm paying. This gives me some kind of assurance that somebody will hear me at least. The best money I ever spent to protect my dog. And successful booking. See you soon. Great. Now we should be getting an email. But we have to. Oh, we didn't disable the second template. So as you can see, we have the first template and the second one. Let's disable the first template we created so we only get one email the next time. But let's see how they are. So this one is the first one we got with the manage URL. And the second one, your virtual confirmation is confirmed. We set the subject line for all of the emails, so that's my mistake. We're gonna fix it right away. But the body of the email says, Karen Smith will be expecting you on Friday, April 17th at 11 a.m. Find the address below in case you need it. And then we have the map link, which works perfectly. And then we have regards legal matters team. So as you can see, we only got the second portion of that email we set up for in-person consultations. Let's first of all take care of this subject line to make it more responsive. Or let's just get rid of your virtual and then your consultation is confirmed. We can save the changes. So as you see, we can modify things very quickly once they're created. And then we come back here. We're gonna test it again. So we know the first one is working perfect. The office consultation. What about the phone call consultation? What about what that email is gonna say? So I'm gonna make this booking for 30 minutes at 11 a.m. on Monday 20th. Continue. And we're just gonna add our data. And our booking is complete because this one doesn't require prepayment. But I'm more concerned with the email right now. Let's see what it says. Your consultation is confirmed. We modified the subject line. And it says, Mr. Perez, thanks for choosing us. You will receive a phone call from the attorney on Monday, 20th at 11 a.m. You will receive a phone call, and the other one, just give me an address link. Perfect. Let's make all of the services require payment and give it a last test. So for that, we go to services, and then we go one by one. We check the settings and replace instant booking by needs prepayment. Save the changes, and we repeat the process with all of them. Now we're totally ready to test the web. Finally, all of the services. So let's go back to the home page. Well, we're on the home page. And we test the book consult already in their two different forms. Now let's test the services. We want to test contracts and negotiation first. Monday at 10 a.m. And the last payment. We have our booking. Do we have our email? We have our email. Your appointment is confirmed. find the address below. Regards, Legal Matters Team. Because this time we didn't set either the in-person general consultation that has one type of template. It is the same template, but it behaves differently according to the service. So coming back to the templates, I want to show you something else before we go. So we have two different templates for client, but you could also add a template for merchant. Here, you could have the different type of booking events, and then you can add different resources. And then you can have different email recipients. So imagine that whenever Alex is chosen for a service, he will get a different email at the following address, felix@bookla.com. And then you could use all of this conditional logic and the metadata to say to Alex what is his meeting about, what is going to be his booking about. So you can automate this so every member of the firm law will receive a different email whenever they are booked, so they can study, prepare, or do whatever they need to do. Other place in where you can find this metadata is if we go to the bookings, and then we'll find this in-office consultation. All the way at the bottom, there is something that says metadata. And here you can see, describe your main concern. I want to get divorced, my wife wants to take my dog. Phone number, and the topic is other. This is one way in which you can read whatever people reply in the custom forms, but the best way to do it is just to create different templates for different professionals, and then every attorney will get on their inbox what is the next meeting about. This is the most professional way to do it. And you can also link it to their Google Calendars using the plugin of Google Calendars. Furthermore, you could add promo codes for whenever you have a consultation, and then you get a promo code for the next consultation, or refer a friend. So you can even promote the law firm with the different plugins we have here. So as you can see, Bookla is as customizable as you like to take it. So we only have a few resources and a few services. And then imagine combining the metadata, the custom forms, the promo codes, and all the different type of booking components that you can add into every single part of the web. The possibilities are just infinite. You can take it as far as you want or as far as your client needs. Well guys, that's it for today. By now you should have a fully functional booking website working perfectly. Remember, the fixed and the flexible type of booking, the different rates depending on the day of the week, the cancellation and rescheduling policy, the payment gateway, and the one single template that took care of all the notifications. But there are many more things we didn't cover, and if you still have any questions, drop a comment down below. If you know anybody that is building a website and requires this type of videos, send this video to them. And if you found this content useful, please share a like with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the Bookla channel to stay up to date with the latest releases. Thanks for watching. See you next time.